The old house on Willow Street had always been a source of mystery and fear in the small town of Millbrook. It stood alone, surrounded by a dense forest that seemed to close in on it, creating an eerie atmosphere that sent shivers down the spines of anyone who dared to venture near. For years, it had been abandoned, its dark windows staring out like empty eyes. The legend of the house had been passed down through generations. They said it was cursed, that anyone who entered its decaying walls would never return the same. Many claimed to have heard strange noises, whispers in the dead of night, and seen shadowy figures moving in the windows. But no one had ever gone inside and lived to tell the tale. Sarah, a curious and fearless teenager, had grown up hearing these stories. She was known for her adventurous spirit, always seeking excitement where others saw danger. One moonless night, with the wind howling through the trees, she decided to put the legend to the test. She invited her friends, Mark and Emily, to join her on what they called the House of Horrors Challenge. Armed with flashlights, they made their way through the thick forest, the branches scraping at their clothes and faces. Sarah led the way, her heart pounding with anticipation. The house loomed ahead, its dark silhouette more menacing than ever. Emily hesitated, her voice trembling. "Are we sure about this?" Mark shrugged off the unease and followed Sarah, whispering, "It's just an old house, Em. Nothing to be scared of." They reached the front door, its wood warped and peeling. Sarah pushed it open, revealing a dusty, cobweb-filled interior. The air was thick with the scent of decay. The friends exchanged nervous glances but continued inside. As they explored the dimly lit rooms, Sarah's flashlight flickered and died. Emily let out a gasp, and Mark's face paled. "It's just a dead battery," Sarah reassured them, switching on her phone's flashlight. The group ventured deeper into the house, discovering rooms frozen in time. A dusty grand piano sat in one corner, its keys covered in a layer of grime. Portraits of stern-looking people lined the walls, their eyes following the intruders. But it was a room on the second floor that sent chills down their spines. The door to the room creaked open as if inviting them in. Inside, they found a child's nursery. A rocking chair swayed gently on its own, and the mobile above the crib turned slowly despite the absence of wind. Sarah, determined to prove there was nothing to fear, approached the crib. As she reached in, her hand brushed against something cold and clammy. She yanked her hand back and screamed. Emily and Mark rushed to her side, their flashlights revealing a withered, skeletal hand lying in the crib. Terrified, they stumbled backward, their hearts racing. Emily whispered, "We need to leave now," but the front door refused to open. Panic set in as they tried every window and exit, all sealed shut as if the house itself had locked them in. The whispers that they had heard about echoed through the halls, growing louder and more menacing. Hours passed, and the friends huddled together in a corner, their flashlights dimming. Shadows danced on the walls, and eerie voices whispered tales of misery and despair. It became clear that the legends were true. The house was cursed, and they were trapped. Days turned into nights, and the trio began to change. Their once fearless spirits dwindled, replaced by terror and madness. Mark's eyes grew vacant, and he muttered to himself incoherently. Emily's once vibrant personality had faded, leaving her a trembling wreck. Sarah, the one who had led them into this nightmare, had become a shell of her former self. In the end, The house claimed them all just as it had claimed so many others before. They became one with the legends, their fates sealed within its cursed walls. And as the house on Willow Street stood in silence, its windows still staring out like empty eyes, the townspeople whispered stories of the brave souls who had dared to enter, never to return.